Stephen, just checking the audio here.
Okay.
So I think we can maybe touch the mics.
Oh shit.
Sounds alright to me. I can't hear any sort of wind effect. Oh. Still having to manually select all of these sort of animation streams. Right pain in the arse, you know. Oh.
Hello and welcome on to this Monday's edition of Movie News here at MBE, aka Movie Burner Entertainment. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen, John McLaughlin, and our other co-host is John C. Walsh. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel, of course, our Twitch stream. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing absolutely splendid, Stephen. I am currently sipping on a lovely Dutch lager.
Splendid and tremendous.
It is splendid, and tremendous, if I can say it.
I'm just on the water tonight, of course, slurring my words earlier on.
Oh, Stephen,
But,
I was having
we'll
a
see how
mare
it goes.
earlier on. I felt like I was having a stroke trying to say a basic word.
I think it's.
So-
I think we're both overworked. I think that's what it is.
No,
John.
it's just I didn't drink enough water. So I've drank a
I
pint.
can't have that excuse. I drink plenty of water during the day. It's one of my things that
I borderline
I
dehydrate
do
myself,
love
Stephen.
doing. But yeah, it's just one of
Because
those
I
things.
have to
think
with my
it's
job.
tiredness and. But
I'm
we're
never
here.
tired.
We're
Never
here.
tired.
This is our kind of switch off thing that we do. You know, the thing that takes us away from our real lives just for a half an hour or so. And we're talking about entertainment stuff. We're talking about the MCU again, John.
Yes,
You
I'm
may
seeing
have-
double, Stephen.
You may have known. That's concerning.
That's this.
John, I was doing that today just before
I
I
need
move
to,
on
I need
to
to put
the
that
actual
down
topic.
because it's behind the OBS.
When I was doing testing the live stream this afternoon, if anyone caught it, really just tinkering with some stuff. I did
Tinker
have
Tailor
two
Soldier
screens,
Spy.
and there was one that was actually delayed by about 5 seconds, and it was so off-putting. I was like, I need to just turn away.
Yeah,
from
you
that.
you have to.
You become really focused and you start watching yourself, and it's not a good thing. But
Speaking about focus, clearly I wasn't focused even doing the graphics. I felt I'd just leave the apostrophe slightly bigger
I'll move
and the
over
question mark slightly bigger. I usually size them down.
that. Yeah, look
I
at that.
decided
Wow.
to leave it, and it's winding me up.
Yeah.
That'll not happen again.
That's really putting the question out there.
Nah,
Putting
yeah.
that question mark that side.
Has
but
the MCU's Midnight Suns movie took a step forward?
Has
I
it?
wasn't quite sure whether it was taken or took.
yeah.
This was a guy who was always supreme at English. Was always in the top class.
John, I wasn't. I'll put my hands up and I'll say I use Grammarly. I use
Grammarly's
Grammarly.
fucking great. I've heard it's brilliant,
It's
Stephen.
fantastic, John.
I need it at times.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had it when we were doing our reviews, because I certainly would have sounded more
Cadaver.
sophisticated. Yeah, you and Kevin were at it.
Yes. Synonym.
Yeah.
What's the synonym of this
Yeah,
word?
you,
Why don't you just write that word, John?
both of you made me look like a right simpleton. That's all
No,
I'm
but
going to
Stephen,
say.
you had it right all along. It was Agatha all along. I think that was the thing at the end of WandaVision. You had it right all along, Stephen. Right the way you speak.
Yeah.
Right the way you speak. Because see, when you go on and do live shows and do videos and you ultimately don't speak the way you have been writing for like
Yeah.
2 years, it's a bit fucking weird.
And the words
It's even stranger than Alex Salmon trying to use big
the
words.
of any Glaswegian, you're fun out.
You're fun out.
So there you are. That's your
And I was fun out.
So yeah. Anyway,
Charlatan.
John, we're going to talk about the MCU's Midnight Suns, just like you mentioned. The movie
Yes.
just took 3 major steps forward. This is in the back of us obviously doing Werewolf by Night. If you check our channel out, part 1 and 2 are up.
Here's
Thanks to
big
John's. Do you
fluffy
know that?
tit,
Do you
Teddy.
know the werewolf man looks like a bit like Tom Baker? Do you not think so?
Tom Baker.
Doctor Who.
Who.
Yeah, with the scarf.
Yeah.
He's got that mad look about him.
He looks a bit Planet of the Apes as well.
For anyone that doesn't know about Midnight Suns, and that includes us,
Yeah.
because since we had those videos dropped earlier on, John, a lot of people have come in and educated us in certain areas, certain with characters that we didn't know about. We didn't know the
Didn't they watch
the
Moon
Ted-
Knight and Eternals? No, I didn't
We
actually.
didn't
That's
actually.
probably 2 of 3 things I've not seen
You've seen everything else.
in the entire MCU. I've not
Yeah.
watched Moon Knight and I have not watched Eternals and I
So-
have not watched She-Hulk.
So-
I've seen every other fucking thing.
So bear with us, folks, because I'm actually going to go through this article by Screen Rant I've got to credit them.
Warning, this post contains spoilers!
Yeah, so
for
look
Werewolf
away
by Night.
if you've not seen it. So, thanks to the debut of Werewolf by Night and Marvel's horror special, the MCU's Midnight Suns movie seems to have taken some major steps forward, like I said. Now, there's going to be spoilers, so look away, folks, if you've not seen it. The Midnight Suns movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe takes a few major steps forward thanks to Werewolf by Night. Marvel Studios' first Disney Plus special presentation gave viewers a glimpse at the supernatural corner of the MCU that has barely been explored to this point. However, there are growing plans for this side of the universe, leading to a speculation that Marvel is going to make a Midnight Suns movie. In the comics, the Midnight Suns are essentially the supernatural Avengers. Well, a Midnight Suns movie has yet to be announced.
They did kind of dabble with that, Stephen, at the start of Werewolf by Night. They showed you the Avengers.
Yeah.
And they basically says this is a corner of the universe where the darker things are. Yeah. Things that are less important.
They were kind of
swept under the carpet.
Right. They were kind of actually telling us that right to our faces.
Maybe not less important, but the darkness resides in this corner of the universe, and now we're going to explore it.
The biggest way that Werewolf by Night sets up Midnight Suns is through the supernatural heroes it features. Werewolf by Night characters include Jack Russell, Gail Garcia Bernal. I think he was the main guy, wasn't he, Jack? Yeah. Elsa Bloodstone by Laura Donnelly, the one I compared to... what's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. I thought she looked very much like her.
She did, yeah.
And Man-Thing. That's obviously Ted, isn't it? Ted.
I won't be voting for Ted.
Yes. All three of these heroes have been part of some iteration of Midnight Suns in the comics. Their immediate connections together in the MCU give Marvel Studios a basis for how the Supernatural Avengers team can form a Phase 4. The second way Werewolf by Night helps set up Midnight Suns is through its horror tone, as the overwhelming positive response can give Marvel faith to make a scary team-up film in the future. Werewolf by Night sets up the Midnight Suns
you can read this off the monitor, you know that, don't you?
Movie in a third way, potentially, as Bloodstone Manor could become the group's headquarters now that Elsa has the Bloodstone weapon and in its charge. John, I'm just going to stop there because I think that kind of gets the gist of what we were trying to say last night, but we were trying to get our heads round, obviously, we were doing it and reacting and responding and chatting about it as it was happening, so it was a lot to take in at that point. But it's that second way that we were sort of touching on more. I felt the sort of tone and how you introduced it into the MCU. This is the perfect vehicle for that, the perfect way to condition the audience who are not familiar with obviously this side of the MCU into accepting it as a reality and a possibility, and going forward introducing these characters and accepting them for what they are, accepting them for their powers, accepting them for where have they been all this time. And I think they handled that very well in Werewolf by Night. The tone of it, and we were talking about WandaVision as well, kind of did that with the multiverse, and obviously Loki as well. I think they're good at doing that. They're good at conditioning us very early on, kind of obviously spoon feeding us in a way, wet nursing us. I think that's probably the best way if you're trying to get a broad audience to come into buy these stories in the MCU. John, what was your thoughts obviously on Werewolf by Night and obviously the potential of this film setup as well?
Stephen, I knew I'd love Werewolf by Night the very moment
you did, yeah.
I laid my eyes upon the trailer. In fact, before that, the moment I laid my eyes upon the thumbnail and actually says to you, Stephen, I flung this in.
Yeah.
I actually think it was you that sent me the trailers. You're like, something happening. We need to react to these. I think it was Comic-Con, to be fair.
It was,
wasn't just something. It was one of the biggest fucking conventions, movie conventions.
Well, I missed that one out because I didn't know anything about it.
I missed that out. I dug it out. I'm like, wow, what is this? That has to go in there. We never did put the reaction out because I was dismayed, disheartened, put off by the lack of views. The vast majority of the trailers I worked blood, sweat and tears to fucking get out actually accrued. But needless to say, Stephen, we discovered last week that this was coming out on Friday. Incidentally, I was out walking my dog at just after midnight. I looked up in the sky. What was up in the sky, Stephen?
Full moon.
A full moon.
It's out again, by the way.
I'm like, that is fucking great. I love that, man. I have just watched a werewolf fucking programme and there's a full moon up in the sky. They have deliberately planned that release.
Saturn as well.
Yeah, you can. It's next to the moon. I was wondering what that was. Seen the light. I'm like, is it Jupiter? Is it Venus? It's Saturn. I just love that. I love that detail that they have coincided the release of this great little feature film with a full moon, and of course it's Werewolf by Night. Stephen, I've always been taken by the concept of werewolves in general. I love the sort of vibe. I go back to Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter movie. For me, to this day, still the best Harry Potter movie. Because it had the talents of one Sirius Black, of course. I'm blanking on his name. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
That was concerning. And the guy that played Remus Lupin and the villain in the first Wonder Woman movie, whose name I'm also blanking on.
Yeah.
And that's annoying. But obviously it was a werewolf. There was a werewolf, he was the shapeshifter, Remus Lupin. They all took the form of animals. So I've always been taken by that concept, that sort of double life, the monster within. It's one of the big aspects I really enjoyed about Hulk in the early days of the MCU. Yeah. Bruce Banner, try to control that rage. He obviously reveals that he's always angry. He's actually, what was it he says? There was some reveal that was great.
Yeah,
it was
like that, yeah, paraphrasing.
Yeah, it was brilliant, the little giveaway. It was like, it subverted expectations, which is funny, because that's what this movie did for me. So it's something I've really enjoyed. I've always enjoyed duology within characters. You think of Batman, Oliver Queen, Arrow.
Yeah.
I laugh at that show, because how the fuck did he have that beard so pristinely kept on that island for, what is it, 3 years?
Yeah.
The wig, the wig. Who could forget the wig? Wow, you didn't need that, mate.
No.
You still don't need it.
Nope.
That was unnecessary.
Budget, obviously.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep him on an island for 5 years in real life.
And he obviously didn't want to grow his hair out, the lazy bastard. He'll build the body, but fuck growing the hair out. Needless to say, the duology within characters is something I've always really enjoyed. That was explored in this. Stephen, looking back at the editing, never even noticed at the start, the moment that your man Jack comes on the screen, they're talking about the monster within.
Yeah.
And they're showing you him. They're telling you right there. There's your werewolf. Right there.
Yeah.
The very first shots of the movie, he walks into this sort of aquarium of weird and wondrous fucking creatures, and also that white suited weirdo. That was a guy, by the way, I think.
I think it was
I'm
a
still
lady.
not sure.
I think it was a lady, John.
Was it? I changed my mind editing.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a guy. It was a woman then.
Yeah, I think so.
Even now I can't make my mind up.
Yeah, I'll try.
But I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed the movie. I was going off in tangents galore there about fucking Harry Potter and werewolves. But I knew I'd love this. The very moment I seen the trailer, I thought this is going to be dynamite. Didn't realise Michael Giacchino was directing. I don't know if that's his first directing gig. Eugenie Bonjour, so it is a woman, yeah. She's very tall.
Yeah, very thin.
Incredibly tall.
Thin white Duke.
The thin white Duke.
Yeah.
Yes, she was like the thin white Duke. She was like a fucking Bowie alias, one of his personas.
It was the way she ran, it freaked me out.
Yeah, it was like
anyone that's that thin.
It's the Stephen. It's the fluffy necked costume, the outfit. It's like a Tudor outfit.
Yep.
You think of Pennywise, he's wearing that outfit. Just those weirdos at the Queen's funeral, the build up. It was like something out of fucking Blackadder. You can see where Rowan Atkinson got his sort of inspiration.
Yeah.
There's something about those Tudor neck things, collar things that are creepy as fuck.
Yeah, beefeaters, yeah.
But Steve, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really, really well handled. Really interesting, exploring a completely different side to this universe that I never envisaged in a million years we'd even be looking at 10 years ago. When this all started with Iron Man, it was very one-toned.
Yeah.
They had a purpose. They had the Marvel humour injected. It was very multi-demographic in its sort of audience. They were projecting this out to every eyeball. Octogenarians, 8-year-olds, newborn babies. Everyone could connect with these movies in some way.
Classic good versus evil, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was classic good v evil. You've now got the sort of ambiguity being explored here. You're looking at monsters who in their very nature should be evil. They should be the bad guys. We spoke about it during the watch along.
Yep.
They've subverted it. You're actually supporting the fucking werewolf.
Yeah.
As opposed to that's how horrific these other hunters are.
Yeah.
So they've done a great job of really going down a different route there.
And the minute they mentioned the Bloodstone, it just got my mind racing. After that, I went, "Oh wow, wait a minute here. This could be this is the start of a new thing."
Well, we've been exploring Infinity Stones for 10 years. And then there's this other powerful fucking stone.
Well, it says here, John, I'm just going to read this part of the article now. It says, following Werewolf by Night, it would be quite surprising if the MCU's Midnight Suns team does not include Jack Russell Elsa Bloodstone and the Man-Thing. They're now firmly entrenched in the supernatural side of the franchise and received open endings to allow them to return. The future Midnight Suns team will need more members though, and no one is arguably more likely to be part of Midnight Suns than Mahershala Ali's Blade. The vampire killer will
Do you think that'll happen? I'll ask you that in a moment.
Leader of the team and give Blade a prominent role in the MCU moving forward. I don't know, because I always thought Mahershala Ali's Blade was a one and done.
Yeah.
That's what I was read. I read that, John.
You're not for 50.
But you never know. It could be just a one-picture deal with other appearances in other films, I suppose. By all
accounts, it was him that actually brought the story to Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
He arranged a meeting. He had an idea for Blade.
Yeah.
It's been put back a year. Now, there was a lot of negativity surrounding that. It lost the director. It was put back a year, the production. The usual channels were on it like piranhas. They blood in a sort of swamp. I don't know, where are piranha rivers? Amazon. They were on it, and they were sort of, they were clutching at the negative side of that this could mean it's not going to happen at all. There's disorder behind the scenes. It's a chaotic set, and it's like Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars productions. Maybe it's the opposite way, Steve. Maybe they have seen what they've had with this, the fidelity acts, the sort of early reactions come in for this movie, people enjoying it, and realise, look, there's an opportunity here. We can go down a different avenue, do something different with this character. He can become a lead of another sort of strange ensemble team, because we've got the Thunderbolts who are like more gritty Suicide Squad Avengers. We've not even assembled an Avengers yet for the new era. We could have this supernatural.
I noticed today there was a talk about that they might actually be phasing out the Avengers. Well, that was going to lead me to my next question anyway. Do you not think the MCU, John, are probably putting too many gangs together? We've already got Avengers, we've got
Thunderbolts,
the Eternals,
the Eternals as well.
The ones from obviously
we're about to lose
Captain Marvel, the both sides of that as well.
About to lose the Guardians.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them are going.
Well, I think a lot of them aren't coming back. The actors aren't they? So John also says Marvel would also be likely to put Moon Knight in there, Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, that is, on the team, given his experience fighting supernatural threats, while Black Knight Kit Harington would also appear. The MCU's Midnight Suns team could also be a place for Ghost Rider, Brother Voodoo, Hellstrom, or Iron Fist to be introduced. I don't know so much about Iron Fist, but Ghost Rider, I could understand that, and obviously Moon Knight and Black Knight as well.
Stock of Keanu Reeves coming in to play Ghost Rider, of course. Kit Harington's a brilliant actor, really enjoyed him. His stint as Jon Snow, he's coming back in a sort of spin-off TV show exploring that character, the Black Knight, the Night Watch or whatever it was called, I can't remember. So that's interesting casting. Also Oscar Isaac, you bring Oscar into any production, into any story, you're elevating the acting right away, because he's a tremendous actor. He's done it all. He's done drama, he's worked with Wes Anderson, he's done all sorts, and he's experiencing blockbusters for Disney. He wasn't the fucking issue in. It was the writing and rotoscoping
somehow,
and sort of underlying messages that no one wanted in Star Wars ever.
Somehow Palpatine came back.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine giving that guy that line. That's terrible.
Doing it to him of all people. He's literally probably, I actually say he's better than Adam Driver. I think he's a better actor than Adam Driver. Adam's brilliant, I love him, but I think Oscar's a better actor. To do that to him was disrespectful. They owe this guy. I don't know if he's interested in coming back, Stephen. I think the way he was talking, it was maybe this TV show and that was it. He never had any future plans, but he's such a cool looking character. Put him on the thumbnail. I actually fucking plagiarised the hell out of the image that they used on this website, but I did it better in my opinion. So I used him. He's such a cool looking character. I have to watch Moon Knight. I designed an incredible reaction logo. We never did react to it. I matched that fucking logo unbelievably closely.
We're good that way, guys.
Yes. But he's such a cool character. I'd love to see him come in. Stephen, you're saying, have we got too much gangs at this point if we do go ahead with this? Time will tell. The Thunderbolts, I think, can serve a purpose.
Thunderbolts.
That's what they're called. That's what they're fucking called. I'm not sure. They can serve a purpose. The Avengers, if they're getting phased out, they're gone, obviously. That'd be a real shame.
Yeah.
Because you've got 2 Avengers movies coming up, and after that would probably signify the end of this universe. Because if there's no Avengers, then there's no real MCU for me. You're going to reboot. So that's basically you saying 3-4 years from now, 5 years, it's done.
I would say,
but they've got a purpose, Stephen. Yeah. They've got a purpose. They're fighting Avengers level threats. That's like fucking end of universe stuff. Thunderbolts are like more, I don't know, they're lower level events. It's almost like Walton Goggins and Ghost and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Shit, isn't it?
It's like there's 2 levels of villainry here. one is befitting for an Ant-Man, one is not befitting. So you get someone else to come in and fight it. So they've got different roles. Also, Guardians are doing their own thing. These guys could... See, I think this is an opportunity. And there's no sort of... It's not cemented that they're going to go this route and actually bring this in and make this a thing. They're speculating, because of Werewolf by Night and the seeming success already, like a day out, that this could be an opportunity. All the pieces are in motion on this sort of metaphorical fucking chessboard, if you like. You've got Moon Knight, Ghost Rider being talked about, Keanu coming in. All these characters in there. There's potential to go somewhere and do this. Stephen, I think this has great potential, because we can explore a different side to this universe.
Do you think it'll give the MCU a second win, John? Because
it could, Stephen, because we've been speaking for years about them doing sub-genres with comic book movies.
For years as well, John, in terms of Feige and the gang sitting down and going, where does this end?
Yeah.
When do we end this? When do we take the break after the end and then do it all again with new casts and new stories?
That could act as a bridge.
Yeah.
It could, yeah. I mean, just tiding it over until you reboot the whole thing. Because it would feel jarring to have had years and years of 2-3 movies, multiple TV shows, and then there's just a cut and there's nothing. It's a void.
Yeah.
But Stephen, it's just, again, it's a natural evolution for me of comic book movies, the sub-genre.
But they want to go back to the Captain Americas, the Iron Mans.
Yeah, they will, yeah.
They'll not leave them in darkness.
Well, I mean,
forever.
they've still got Captain America there just now, of course, with Sam Wilson. It's not Steve Rogers, though. And there's always going to be that sort of disconnect with Sam not being a super soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, even John Walker's got the serum, and it was noble of him not to take it. But ultimately, that's going to mean the level of villain and the sort of his influence in an Avengers style team is always going to be lesser.
I think that's the importance. You touch on it, John. You make a good point in terms of he hasn't got any supernatural strength. I mean, he's a very agile.
It's
soldier.
just ingenuity.
But when we look at Elsa Bloodstone, obviously in that Werewolf by Night, it was vital that she claimed the stone because she's just immortal. She, the likes of obviously
very handy though.
Literally handy. What was the main guy's name again? From Werewolf by Night.
Jack.
You look at him, Jack Russell, and you look at Man-Thing. Obviously, they are monsters.
Yeah, they're monsters.
Whereas she's not. And you're thinking, well, where does she come into this? Surely she's going to be the one that has to possess it.
She could be the leader.
Yeah,
she could be the sort of leading force.
She needs some sort of supernatural power.
She's the sanity within the madness. Because these are all monsters in a sense. Even Moon Knight, I've not watched Moon Knight, but the vibe I got, he was almost becoming a different force. It was like fucking Jekyll and Hyde.
I mean,
he was this sort of English, clear-headed guy. Then he became this other being entity.
I mean, I don't think they're going to get down the road. I'm going to adjust my mic, John, so hopefully I'll not do too much damage. But
you shouldn't even have to worry about that. That's a joke.
I think when it comes to possibly doing this Midnight Suns team up, I think it will be very constricted at first. I think it will probably be Blade, Elsa, Man-Thing and Jack.
It's just Stephen,
very much like the Avengers at the very beginning. It was only 5 of them, wasn't it? 5 or 6 of them before. Obviously it's just the villains. Who do you get in to play the villain, Stephen? Because we get shot down with Morbius. Obviously it was a bit of a flop. It was a disaster. Yeah, but the actual character itself is a great opportunity.
In the right hands, Jared Leto is fucking dynamite.
Yeah, that
he's
guy
an incredible
needs to get
actor.
an agent because
he really does.
He's really getting shafted.
He's made some really bad decisions.
Yeah, it's not him. It's not his abilities. It's definitely his choices more than anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did get shot down, John. But you are looking at.
But Morbius. He is part of this sort of team. He's links with this.
Yeah.
And obviously Blade.
I think that's what they were hoping. I think they were hoping, obviously, that the film would be a success and it would be an easy transition to bring him across. Not to be the case, but you never know. I mean, it's still. I don't think it's dead in the water. I think there's still a chance that if he's brought over and maybe the Russos or someone can come in and do something with the character and good writing, then it could be resurrected, if you pardon the pun.
I'm just going to quickly search something up here, Stephen.
Yeah.
I want the rating of Werewolf by Night because there was a lot of talk of it being gory, being brutal, being violent. It was violent. It was more violent than your average Marvel content.
Yeah, for Marvel, I would say for Marvel, yeah, but
TV 14. So I mean, it's usually PG-13, so it's like a rating higher.
Yeah.
In terms of the violence, so it's a different vibe looking down. And Stephen, we've spoken in the past about Disney Plus being a little bit too kid friendly, and there's not enough for maybe older audiences. Well, they're starting to give us that, to be fair. They're giving Us it with Deadpool coming out, and it's going to be R-rated, and they've gave us it with the sort of Star stuff. Is that what it's called?
It's called Star, John. It was
all
the best
the
thing they
old
ever
Fox
did with that.
Yeah.
Streaming platform, because it got very stale very quickly.
It was all
until obviously the
Disney.
WandaVisions and Loki's came out, then it started really gathering pace. But before that, you see them taking up the Fox 20th Century Fox properties, etc., and you're like, why are you doing this? Because you're never going to show this in Disney Plus. Well, they did, as you said. They've introduced Star about a year or two ago.
They just have to introduce the Indian sort of content that they're locking regionally behind.
Hotstar.
Yeah, they need to bring that over, because that's a missed opportunity.
It's a strange
Amazon
one.
and Netflix are doing it.
Yeah, it's a very strange one, considering they do have Hotstar over in India. And why not utilise it and put it into Disney Plus?
People would watch it
in Europe,
We've seen it. Maybe that's something that Rajamouli will bring in, as we'll be speaking about, I'm sure, in a moment.
Yeah.
But Stephen, the genre, man, or not the genre, the rating, it opens up barriers, or brings down barriers, opens up sort of avenues for them to explore different type of content in the MCU. It's not just all fluffy Marvel humour, light and airy. These are different, darker characters, different, darker locales. There's a real potential here to go down a sort of horror avenue with the MCU. It's living in its own little bubble universe. And it can be a different rating, and it can be totally different genres being explored. Horror within the Marvel universe. I didn't think this was even part of the MCU until it was confirmed it was. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that doesn't connect.
It didn't sit anywhere. That was a thing.
Yeah.
We were questioned it even before we hit the play button. Where does this sit in the MCU? This has came out of left field. It doesn't come in. It doesn't have any connections to anything.
No.
And I get they obviously put the Avengers thing at the beginning. Yeah. I mean, all the little links are there, but it will all make sense eventually. It's one of the things that I always trust Feige with. It's, he plants his seeds very early on, and he'll do the same with the X-Men. He'll do the same with the Fantastic Four eventually.
Well, there's rumours, Stephen, I was reading about Black Panther Wakanda Forever leading to the first X-Men movie. Namor, I think, is a mutant. Maybe something that happens within that movie brings out all of these mutants. They start showing themselves, realise they can be accepted, and that creates sort of conflict. Those who do accept them as being this advanced human, those who hate them. Leads you to your X-Men movie.
Just touching on Wakanda Forever as well, John. I've been reading certain things that the trailer might be a little bit misleading. Who actually is Black Panther? I'm actually coming around to the idea, I don't know if anyone else has came up with this idea, but certainly something I thought of, that Black Panther could represent the whole of Wakanda, and anyone can be Black Panther. I don't know if that'll work or not.
I'm not sure if I like that, but
I don't like it, but you never know. It's just one of those things.
A lot of fighting, though, wasn't there? A lot of claws.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking about those fat Batmen in The Dark Knight at the parking lot.
Yeah, is
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Is that one of the ones the Joker takes?
Yeah.
Look at me.
He didn't want to be Batman then, did he? It was all fun and games when he was getting the plaudits.
What makes you so different?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Love it.
He's proper Batman. He's a philanthropist, billionaire, mate.
John, we're going to move on unless you get anything else to say.
No, just looking forward to seeing them exploring new avenues with these characters. A new potential era for the MCU, different genres. Stephen, I keep bringing it up, man, but Logan was a game changer with subgenres.
It was, yeah.
It was a western within a comic book movie. Just exploring something different. It's off-piste for the traditional comic book movie, which is always seen as this action popcorn flick. It doesn't have to be. Blade's not going to be an action popcorn flick. It's going to be dark and twisted. There was moments within Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness that were quite twisted and dark, when obviously he's reanimating a fucking corpse from another universe. That's pretty fucked up and twisted. I enjoyed it personally, but it was fucking weird. The sort of gargoyle demons attacking him. We're going down that route. We can explore horror within the universe.
Get your man Derrickson back.
Get him back, man. He would be made, absolutely made for these kind of movies. Bringing in brilliant directors. Why not bring in a fucking Mike Flanagan into the MCU to create a horror movie?
Yeah, Jordan Peele.
I want these movies to just sit in their own little universe, but it's not going to happen.
No,
it all interconnects.
But what effect is this going to have on Universal's as well? Their Monsterverse,
that's irrelevant, Steve.
Which has been kind of hot and I'm saying hot and cold. It's been cold, probably hot, and then cold. With their releases.
I think the Mummy came out. That was a disaster of a movie. I sadly did watch that. Sophia Boutella I think her name is. And Tom, I mean, there was one good moment, the plane going down. That was epic. But then he fucking survives without a scratch.
That's Tom.
It's a fucking plane crash, mate. It clearly hit the ground. You would be in bits. They would be scooping you up and putting you in multiple bags. Not a fucking scratch. The movie was silly.
Yeah.
Just silly season. Really poor. And they'd already built up this universe. I think they brought in fucking Russell Crowe to play Jekyll and Hyde or something. Yep. Then we get The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss.
Yep, which was good.
And I really enjoyed that.
I liked that.
But that had a bit of Blumhouse in it.
Yeah.
And now we're getting I want to say it's another werewolf fucking...
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
So, or Gosling.
Yeah.
So, Steve, I think they should just kill that universe. That universe is doomed to fail.
Burn
No other universe. They should burn Halloween as well.
So that's coming out in a couple of weeks.
Oh my
it's
god.
It's going to be interesting if we're doing a review on that, because we've reviewed the other two. So
yeah, I think we have to. We're almost compelled to watch it now. We need to see it
Ruth back, because Ruth actually had a lot of input in that middle part of the review, didn't she, for that middle part of the film, the trilogy, sorry.
It was fucking dreadful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was really, really poor.
It's put me off. I don't really care what happens next.
See, I've never really cared about Mike Myers or Halloween. Michael, yeah. I like Mike. I just shorten it to Mike. I don't give a shit. I'm pals with Mike. Yeah. Mikey Myers. Big guy with a mask on. Yeah, the boiler suit. I supply him the boiler suit.
He's a bit of a loner, but he's alright.
He's a bit of a loner, yeah. Bit stabby for my liking. Bit bunny boilerish in that boiler suit. But
he's hard to read.
Yes, he is. But I've never really cared about him.
Not
really cared about the movies aside from the classic 78 one, which was the only real good one.
Yep.
We get Terminator. The fucking witch in here or something. Some shit one, wasn't it?
Halloween 3, the season of the witch.
Dreadful. What the fuck are you doing?
Why are you calling it Halloween 3? It's got nothing to do with Halloween 1 or 2. But anyway.
There's only been one good movie.
Yeah.
Only one.
Anyway, John, there seems to be a resurgence, though. I know it's coming up for Halloween, and naturally these films come out at this time, but there does seem to be this resurgence of horror, isn't there? And certainly, if the way the MCU is going as well, it could propel it even further with spin-offs and
Stephen, I want to see more like that. Yeah. I want to see more black and white, sort of vintage style with all the artifacts. That lends a creepiness right to the movie, right from the
John,
bat,
right off the bat. We were
bat.
watching that last night, and we were...
it's the jerkiness of the movement, if they can get that implemented.
The gramophone playing the records, and it would speed up and then slow down. That freaks me out. I hate that.
I think The Lighthouse. It's just it adds a level of atmosphere.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
And obviously he did the aspect ratio that was old school.
We're going to move on anyway to our next topic. It's going to be very short and sweet, this one. It's all about SS Rajamouli. Now, by the time you watch this, it will be clipped as well, but we're talking about this live, and it is his birthday as we speak. But when this is clipped and goes out tomorrow, don't come on and say, it was yesterday, guys. Okay, so it was his birthday. Is his birthday? It was his birthday. Okay. And happy birthday.
Say it's your birthday.
John, this guy's 49. He's only
fucking crazy.
3 years older than me. Yes. I thought he was actually older than that.
He does look older.
Yeah.
With the hair.
I think just because of his experience in the film, I just thought
it's the grey hair, Stephen. He's got an abundance of grey hair. He's going the full Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, yeah. See, when you look at the top of his head, that's Taika.
Yeah, it's Taika. Yeah.
But
it's mad.
This is coming in from the Indian Express, John. It just gives us another excuse to talk about one of our favourite directors and filmmakers. SS Rajamouli is fast becoming the most celebrated Indian filmmaker globally. It's hard to recall when was the last time Indian filmmakers struck such a chord with mainstream audiences worldwide. Now, our Triple R filmmaker SS Rajamouli turns 49 today. Yesterday, if you're watching the clip. But who is SS Rajamouli? Do I really want to read this out? Come on, guys. The director who has been breaking cliches and geographical confines, one film at a time. South Indian states outside, and then United Andhra Pradesh discovered him with Simhadri. The whole country found him with Baahubali.
The then United Andhra Pradesh, really?
Yeah, and the rest of the world has learnt his name after Triple R. No, they didn't. We didn't. We knew about him before Triple R, so there you go. The growth trajectory of Rajamouli to become a global success with stories that are inherently rooted is something never seen before. A Hollywood film by Rajamouli is, in his over-the-top trademark style, is now a possibility. I couldn't care less if he does it or not, because I don't think he has to. He has been signed by the American talent agency Creative Arts Agency, CAA, which manages the likes of Tom Hanks.
I think that's as good as a confirmation of
it is.
it's going to happen.
Steven Spielberg, Zendaya, Ava DuVernay and Ryan Murphy, to name a few.
Ava DuVernay, that's a strange name to fling in there.
With the
Ryan Murphy, who the fuck is Ryan Murphy?
With the backing of CA, the basic resources that Hollywood has to offer has become more
Who the hell is that?
accessible for the filmmaker. Rajamouli already enjoys a huge popularity in Japan thanks to Baahubali, The Conclusion.
Yeah.
That's a strange one, isn't it? Not that it isn't a good film, of course, but why not the beginning as well? The beginning was just as good as the conclusion in my
I think
book.
when we were reacting to Triple R, there was maybe a Korean or something was in watching and says they were a huge fan.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Rajamouli.
But I think his films transcend continents anyway, you know.
A good film's a good film.
He's a good storyteller, and you know that's something that does transcend cultures and society anyway. You know, I think someone that talent, it doesn't surprise me that he's not been signed up, that he has been signed up, you know, amongst these other stars, but it remains to be seen what he does, if he wants to do it or not. It looks like it he will.
Prince of Persia movie is making good.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. But John, it's his birthday. I suppose we can only talk about our experiences in Baahubali, the beginning and the conclusion, and obviously Triple R at this stage. Obviously we want to go down a rabbit hole at some point and see. Well, we did watch the trailer for
Begins with an E.
Well, it was mad. It was just a mad trailer. It was one of the funniest trailers I've seen.
The Fly.
Yeah, the Fly film. I can't remember what it's called. But it was
begins with an E, a
fantastic.
double E, I'm going to say.
I can't remember, John. But this was an earlier film, of course. We were recommended, and I think Eager, yeah, 2012, 10 years ago.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But
Tell you what, the effects have aged well.
They have.
It's 10 years old.
But it shows the sort of it shows the sort of the varying talents of the man, that he can take a concept like that.
He's
and
pushing boundaries all the time, this guy.
You know, anyone else that would have done that would have failed. I feel, you know, just taking that sort of concept. Baahubali speaks for itself, John. One of probably the greatest two-part films. I hate saying two films. It's a two-part film.
For me, it's a single story.
Yeah, it's a single story.
Split in two.
And it was phenomenal. And I loved watching that, and I loved talking about it with yourself. I loved reviewing the films as well. The film, I'm catching myself out. The film itself, an absolute epic. And then obviously when Triple R was obviously rumoured to be in the making as well, it just excited me more to see that this was going to be the next project. And very much like our other favourite Indian star, Telepathy VJ,
Joseph.
It's all Joe. It's always
Joe VJ.
It's always great, you know, when there's something in the works with these guys, whether it be an actor or a director. And it's the same with SS Rajamouli. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
Stephen, what he does next will be epic. It'll be massive in scale.
Yeah.
With 240 frames, slow-mo, FPS, slow-mo shots, stunning, pioneering technology, pushing the boundary. That's what this guy does in every single movie. We've seen it with Iya 10 years ago. I've not seen the movie, but we've seen the trailer. The concepts obviously come off the screen in a 2-minute trailer. Taking a fly and making him the star of a fucking movie. The wizardry technically it would require to do that, and to have it not age horrifically in the ensuing 10 years, that's an art to itself.
It's not very often after we've done a trailer reaction and the cameras are off, we talk about it that much. We'll go, yeah, it was good. But for some reason there was something about that, and I think we both said, I'm glad we reacted to that. That was a rush.
It started quite slow burn, and then it ended in just fucking hilarity.
Tears of
euphoria.
laughter,
yeah. It was really good. Stephen, that sums him up for me. Euphoria and hilarity. There is hilarity in a lot of these movies. There is euphoria. There is just stunning shots.
Yeah.
And just he consistently gets performances out of his leading men, women, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, Ali Abbat was in Triple R, but she wasn't really leading.
No.
That was the one downside to that movie for me, if I was nitpicking. Didn't do enough with her. And she didn't do enough with what she had, to be fair. Either. I think she had about 4 minutes, 5 minutes screen time. We've seen great actors do more with less.
Oh, your veteran, it was in the film The Flashback, The Father. I'm blanking on his.
Stephen, I'm thinking of Hugh Jackman's cameo. It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah, but you know how the father in Triple R, in the flashback.
Ajay Devgan,
Ajay Devgan,
right, okay, less time.
He just made his mark, you know, and he owned every second of that time he was on screen.
But the performances he gets, Stephen, are there.
Yeah.
We've seen it before, or 3 movies now. Rana Dagibati, Prabhas, and Baahubali. The sort of whole omnibus at the beginning and the conclusion.
Yeah.
Incredible. Prabhas
for
was another level, Steve.
But it was funny because we watched that first, the beginning, and I felt it was a very slow beginning. I felt that we were still trying to come to terms with condition ourselves with Indian filmmaking at that point, and at times it was a bit, what's this about? You know, what is he doing? You know, can he do that? And what we didn't get very early on was, of course, that this is a larger than life story, and this is something SS Rajamouli is probably best at doing. Seen bits in Triple R, bits that we probably thought were maybe a bit supernatural. People have corrected us on the motorbikes, obviously weight and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is fine. You know, that's an education in itself. But just buying into that sort of world and buying into that sort of the physics of an SS Rajamouli film as well. Once you accept that, you just fucking love what's happening in front of your eyes, and we certainly did with Triple R.
Stephen, I remember the moment I accepted it. It was when, obviously, it wasn't Mahendra, it was the other one, it was the father, and he lifts the sort of ceremonial stone, and it's a song and dance number. I'm like, that's fair enough, this is the movie we're getting then. It's like a sort of super heroic, and I don't know what you'd call it, it's also not a superhero movie. There's a name for it. Fantasy super heroic sort of fantasy movie. And once you get into that sort of mindset, it just washes over you. Yeah, that's what it's all about, Stephen. I think that's the disconnect sometimes that Western audience members have with some of the maybe Rajamouli's works. I was going to mention Campea, who obviously famously left the movie after about 5 minutes. Yeah, deleted and I'm going to mention him because it was the credits at the start, which is a fucking nonsense. A nonsense. 50 years ago in Hollywood, every single fucking movie had credits at the start. Some of the greatest movies ever made have got credits at the start. The movie doesn't start for 4 minutes. Yeah. So that's bullshit. But it was obviously the stuff with Ram Charan's character. I'm trying to remember, is it Bhima Ramaraju? I think it's Ramaraju. Ram Charan Ramaraju, that should be pretty easy. Also, when he's picking out the guy, he's tasked by the British police, I want to call them, because they're not technically the army, to go and get this guy who breaks the photograph of the king. Yeah. He's switched off. There's a mindset where they're like, oh, this is silly, this is over the top. But they'll watch Avengers movies, they'll watch DC movies, where you've got guys flying through the sky, rebuilding the Great Wall of China with fucking laser eyes. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. So there's a sort of snobbery, there's a sort of superiority complex, and then there's just a failure to even try and accept it. With us liking foreign content, we've watched a load of foreign films, TV shows. Not as big an issue for us. We're more likely to sit in and try and just become one with it and enjoy the story that the director's given you. Once you allow that to happen, you become one with the story. The talent the man's got, his ability to create and weave brilliant characters through interesting stories is there for all to see. It's undeniable. Baahubali is a fucking epic. That is, yeah. It's like a Charlton Heston, fucking biblical epic from the 1950s, but modern day. It's just this concept of, I'm just getting knocked out my stride with my dog farting.
I'm trying to keep my eyes open here.
His stomach has not been good today.
No. What's he been eating today?
Good. I don't know what he's been eating, Stephen, but I've seen the aftermath of it, that's for sure. It's this concept that's getting levels to it. Concept of deceitfulness, backstabbing.
The air in this room has got levels to it.
Yeah, has got levels to it. Yes. The whole universe is in a hot, dense state.
That was a big bang.
Oh my god. This dog, man. Oh my god. He produces smells that no living thing. He smells like what Ulysses Bloodstone in that fucking coffin, the animatronic, should have smelt like. My god. Yeah. Fucking horrific. But anyway, that tangent aside, thank you very much for that, Harley. The story's undeniable. It's an absolute fucking epic. It's like Judah Ben-Hur, man. It goes on and it's just riveting. It does start a little bit slow, but it builds up a pace very quickly. Once he's up in this sort of plateau, you get the whole backstory, and then it goes to the second movie, and he's tasked with saving, I think it's his mother or some relation, and obviously killing Balaladeva. Absolutely fucking epic, Stephen. That one of the end sequences still sticks in my mind. You've got Katapa, the sort of bald-headed chain-mail wonder,
Bearded man, yeah.
throwing the sword and shouting Mahendra, and he catches it. He's sort of gliding through this fucking air, about to strike Baahubali down and pale him in this pit. And he's got all the ancestors behind him in the clouds. It's like a storm.
I think that's why.
Incredible technical stuff. The score's building, and it's just a fucking climax to this story. It's been going on for 3 years.
Prince of Persia would be right down his street.
Yeah, it would.
You know, something as mythical as that. You know, something that's been done before and wasn't done very well by Hollywood. He would absolutely nail it.
But I don't want him, Stephen, coming in and doing a Prince of Persia movie for Hollywood and casting all Western actors.
No.
He has got an incredible knowledge of the acting talent on the subcontinent. I want him to take a sort of Hollywood budget, but gave the movie to do by a film studio within Hollywood, but gave complete freedom who he casts. He can cast Western actors if he wants, but go and get some brilliant, like your Ramcharan, your NTR Juniors.
Don't do a grey man and bring Danush in as a henchman, which I always feared that it was going to be the case. But you're absolutely right, John. I think getting down the road of maybe accepting the American buck is fair enough. If you want your sort of vision to see the light of day, that's fair enough. But
well, I mean, Triple R was $70 million, Stephen. The budget was $70 million. That's nothing for Western movies. That's a fucking Blumhouse. That's not much more than a Blumhouse horror.
That's because of the talent that's in India for the CG.
But they're still producing a lot of the Indian sort of CG houses are coming over and doing work for Marvel.
Yeah, well they have to because
some of the
they're
best
doing it right. You know, they're doing it in the most believable way possible, and you've seen that in Triple R, John. I still can't get over that sequence with the animals. It was one of the most amazing sequences I've seen in any action film to date. That was believable, but at the same time unbelievable in terms of my mind accepting what my eyes were actually believing. And I think that's why we did laugh at some sequences in that, because it was just taking us aback.
I was laughing, Stephen, and I'll admit it right now. I was laughing because it was fuck. I did not expect all those animals to come out. It was heavily fleshed out that this was a man of this sort of village. He was at one with the earth, at one with that region, at one with the animals.
Like Tarzan, wasn't it?
He was able to sort of, I don't know, not train, but certainly capture animals. We see that with the tiger. So it wasn't so far-fetched when he does release all those animals out, but I wasn't expecting it in that moment. I was just expecting a sort of one-man takedown of all these guys. So when he appears with these trucks full of the animals, I was laughing at the animals coming out because I didn't expect it. And then just the violence. I'm a sick bastard. He didn't have any
control over the animals, John. That was
they were attacking him.
That was what made it funny. It was just chaos. It was just.
But then I'm borderline psychopathic as well. I'm quite sick. I've got a dark sense of humour, and seeing people suffering, no less sort of British Empire suffering. I loved that. I absolutely loved the fact that they were getting ragdolled with all manner of different animals. It fucking conjured up Jumanji. Jumanji with Alan Parrish. But Steve, I'm looking at this guy's career. You're talking about a retrospective look. We've not seen the vast majority of this man's works. We don't proclaim to have. As a writer, he's been prolific. As a director, he's been slightly less prolific. But it goes back to 2001.
Yeah,
he's not made a huge amount of movies, and that's usually a good sign of a good director.
Yeah, not just
he won't just throw out anything. Yep. He's taking his time. He's methodically going through each project, making sure it's blood, sweat and tears. It's a passion.
MB29, I wonder what that is.
It's MB, yeah. I'm not sure.
Pre-production.
It's in pre-production, yeah. Well, they tend to do that, don't they? They tend to number it with the actual director. But Stephen, you look 1, 2, 3. I mean, I don't have to count. It tells you at the top 13 movies in 20 years, 21 years.
And perhaps maybe those early ones are like student film. Well, student number one, I would say that's probably just maybe some shorts or something.
It
perhaps.
Could be, yeah.
But
so that's a good sign.
10 minutes. That is a short for an
indie movie. Yeah, it is. But that's a good sign that he's not just churning out movies for the sake of it. This guy works studiously on his movies, and we've seen this before with Nolan, Tarantino, Western sort of figures.
He's an event director,
and Stanley Kubrick was one that only did about fucking 8 movies or something, 11 movies throughout his entire career. That's usually what the best directors do. But Stephen, getting back to it, man, you take it from that, it's like a 2 hour movie 20 years ago to where he is now. He really is breaking down barriers worldwide. He's getting signed up with talent agencies over here, not maybe talent agencies, just agencies in general. Give this guy a $200 million budget and he will work fucking magic.
I think since he did Baahubali as well, John, and I understand why that was broken into 2 parts.
Yeah, it was long.
It was an epic story. But then so was Triple R. It was an epic story, but I think maybe, you know, he's kind of buffed the sort of rough edges of his own sort of style and his career. And he's able to streamline that kind of epic story into a 3 hour movie, one movie that is, and it doesn't look jarring. The pacing's not off, the tone of it's consistent from start to finish, and that comes with experience, you know. And I think he's mastered that. Yeah,
he has, Stephen. He's just pushing the envelope when it comes to technical stuff, and also stories, getting performances, blending the music brilliantly as well. One of the best things about Triple R was the soundtrack, and also the dance sequences with Ram Charan and NTR. I would love to see him just blurring the lines between Western stuff and Indian stuff. If we can get some sort of Hollywood studio, I don't know who would green light it, but a Prince of Persia movie with elements of Indian sort of filmmaking style and Western filmmaking style. Give this guy $150 million to make it.
Be epic.
I'm telling you, it will be fucking epic. It will be epic because he's an incredible director. For me, there's some brilliant directors we've seen over in India. Lokesh Kanagaraj is one that stands out as well. But for me, SS is the best director in India just now. And every movie he's released that we've seen anyway has been fucking epic. Even the one we've not seen, we've seen the trailer, it looks epic and eager.
Yeah.
I wish the guy nothing but the best. I wish him a happy birthday once again, because it is his birthday. 49. To be fair, I says he looks slightly older than you. That's because he is slightly older than you, Steve. He doesn't look 49.
No,
if he dyed the hair, he would look younger.
Probably, yeah.
The grey hair ages you, sadly. I wish the guy nothing but the best. I hope he continues to push the envelope. I hope he continues to be a pioneer when it comes to technology. And just getting performances, man, delivering these fucking epics. We need epics like this. The world's a dark, shite place. You've got little bald men from Eastern Europe creating misery, and probably other snaky, clandestine individuals from Western spheres creating misery. And when there's misery, and it's been ever present in society for millennia, you need a fucking bit of escapism.
An outlet.
That's why the Greeks and the Romans had their colosseums and their little amphitheatres. We need it with cinema, and we need great directors like this giving us the escapism. So long may it continue, SS, my man. I want to see more for you. I want to see you coming over and doing it in the West as well. But don't forget about India. Can we use the Indian actors as well, because they're fucking great. I want a balance of the two, because I'm a balance of the two. Anyway, man, I'm gibbering. That's the drink, and it's tiredness. Are we done, Stephen?
We're done, yeah.
What's your thoughts then on the 2 topics we touched upon? What do you make about that Werewolf by Night spin-off, Midnight Suns?
Yeah.
Sounds like a Foo Fighters album.
It does, aye.
What's your thoughts on Midnight Suns? A potential spin-off ensemble team with the likes of Blade, Elza Bloodstone, Jack, whatever the fuck
Jack
his name
Russell,
is.
yeah.
Russell. That was almost sounds like...
It's a dog, yeah.
Jack Russell, it's a dog, yes. It sounds like some random shit Scottish footballer, but it's a fucking dog. Pretty shit dog as well, to be fair. Underwhelming. I've been around him. Get yourself a good Labrador. He'll clear your lungs with abhorrent farts. He'll take your arms out with pulling on walks. But he's got lovely hazel eyes and he's much smarter than a Jack Russell. Get a Labrador. But I don't have to preach that to India. They're loved over in India as well, as they are here. What's your thoughts on that Jack Russell in there fucking man thing?
Yeah.
Teddy. Ghost Knight, Moon Knight, the whole fucking shebang. What's your thoughts on it? Do you want to see it? Where could it fit into the MCU? What does it mean for the MCU moving forward? What's your thoughts on SS Rajamouli? It's his birthday today, the 10th of October 2022. The man is 49. What's your thoughts on his career? What's your experience been following this man? I'm sure if you're from India or from Japan or from further afield and been a fan of this man's work for longer than us, you'll have much more wisdom to bestow upon us regarding SS Rajamouli's career. Share your thoughts down below about that and so much more if you've got anything to say down below in the comments section. is the place to put it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on YouTube. The follow button and the notifications button over on Twitch to see us over there doing live content as well. Regardless of what you do though, thank you for watching us. And until the next time, me and Stephen are done. Bye bye.